Today we have the Nintendo Direct for the Nintendo Switch 2, April 2nd, 2025, by Nintendo of America. Now, full disclosure, I tried to go into these as blind as possible. Unfortunately, I did have a ping in the server today before I could physically start working. I do have to wait a certain time because I'm kind of in between people's sleep schedules. Slightly annoying, but I have. That's why I can't stream this. So unfortunately, I do have some spoilers for some things that have happened. So if I'm a little lax or I don't seem as excited, I do apologize. I try going to these as spoiler-free as I can, but that's not always possible. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm ready. I'm so ready. I like the cutesy build animation. Not necessarily the aesthetic I would have chosen, but I like it. I think it fits very well. What is this, Yoshi's Island? Mario Kart? Mario Kart.
Let's go!
I was actually curious when we were going to get another one, because obviously we had Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U, and that went into the Switch, obviously. Switch is all the DLC and stuff like that. We have, like, what, Villager? We have Link from hit game Breath of the Wild, right? So we have that, the Master Cycle, right? But it's very interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I was kind of expecting a new one, but I didn't know when. I'm super excited about it, honestly. The Moon Meadow Cow. The food, the burger. Okay. Okay. Is this, I'm assuming this is the Switch and not for, because we had Pokemon Champion, right? And that was the, it's going to be Android and Switch. I'm assuming this is going to be a Switch 2 exclusive, and I'm perfectly fine with that. A couple things I did notice. So I came from Mario Kart Wii, and I know some people would kind of scoff at that entry. I had a lot of fun with it, but I didn't start with 64. I didn't start with anything like Double Dash right on the GameCube. I started with Wii. I actually really rather enjoyed it. So coming to 8, it was a little jarring to kind of have those transformations. It still looks like there are some of those transformations present, such as, you know, the gliders, being able to go on the water and stuff like that. It's starting to grow on me. I definitely want to play more Mario Kart again. And I've had a couple times where I've tried to stream it, but just it's not popular in terms of turnout. Maybe when this launches, I'll stream it. I think that transforming is honestly cool. Speaking of transforming, it looks like the outfit changes. I like them. I like changing outfits. It looked like you ate the burger and changed it mid game. I like that. I think it's cool. I think it's going to open up some DLC opportunities as well, especially if they do want to live service this. I'm assuming that in some way, shape, or form, you're going to be able to play offline. But as with anything, especially if you're buying digital, right, you're not buying a physical cart. You are purchasing a license to be able to access the product for as long as they deem it is okay for you to. Thus getting into the physical versus digital media argument. But I digress. That's moving a little too far into it. I wanted to kind of watch that and intake that rather than kind of pause and talk throughout it. That way I could kind of get all my thoughts at the end, and I'm probably going to keep that up throughout this. So we'll probably watch the presentation, and then I'll probably add my thoughts to this. I like it, though.
Hello, everyone. I'm Koichi Kawamoto, and I'll be one of your guides for today's Nintendo Direct. I'm the producer for Nintendo Switch 2.
I'm Takuhiro Dota, the director for Nintendo Switch 2.
And I'm Tetsuya Sasaki, the hardware design lead for Nintendo Switch 2.
What you just saw was Mario Kart World, launching exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2. Now, what do you think this brand new Mario Kart game will be like?
That's a good question. I think it's going to be an 8. It's going to be 8, but I think we're going to be moving back to some older titles as well. So not necessarily a progression of 8 philosophically, but mechanically, I feel like we have 8 mixed with some prior entries as well.
A brand new entry in the Mario Kart series is launching exclusively on the Nintendo Switch 2 system.
Okay, that's my answer.
Welcome to this vast world. Kart races are held throughout various regions that span the globe. Depending on the time of day and weather conditions, the atmosphere will change.
My concern with that is Nintendo, specifically Pokemon and weather effects, don't necessarily go well together on handheld hardware. Maybe the Switch 2 and docked is powerful enough that it could work. Certain interactions that come to mind is the lake in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is notoriously rough, choppy when it starts raining. Even in Pokemon, even back to like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, right? Games beloved by many. The 5-on-5 battles, right? If you got like, what was it? I think it was like 5 Hoopa Unbound on one team, and you had a sandstorm going, it started to actually chug the game. And I mean those are kind of like extreme examples, right? You have an area already in Scarlet and Violet, which is, pretty, I would assume, detail oriented, especially water physics wise. I'm sure there's a number of things that go into that. Combined with rain, I mean, it's just going to make it super choppy. And then you're not necessarily doing 5v5 Hoopa Unbounds, right? With a weather. Like, I think you're stress testing the engine at that point, which does make sense. So if it's stable, I'm in. I think that would be super good. But I'm cautiously optimistic because I don't know quite the specs of the Switch 2, and I know that's being thrown into question right now of how powerful is this system in comparison to the Switch 1.
And in this Mario Kart game, you can go off the racetrack and drive virtually everywhere in this world.
Okay. Interesting.
In the classic Grand Prix, race through 4 courses in a bid for first place.
Sure.
But don't sleep at the wheel. You'll also drive to the next course as part of the competition. With 24 drivers in each race.
Did I just see a Cataquack on that?
As part of the competition.
Yes, I did. That is a Mario Sunshine Cataquack right next to Baby Daisy. Yeah, I'm buying it on Cataquack alone.
With 24 drivers in each race, the most in series history, the competition is gearing up. Introducing Knockout Tour. Race non-stop from one corner of the world to another. There are multiple checkpoints along the way. If you're below the placement shown when you hit a checkpoint, you'll be eliminated. Can you make it all the way to the finish line? You can also freely drive around this vast world in free roam. By going off-road, you can explore new areas and routes. So drive wherever your heart takes you. You can also go for scenic drives with friends, and even take photos together at different locations.
I think it's interesting to add that free roam option. I think that it's actually super interesting, just from a freedom standpoint. I think that it's honestly super cool to have that. I think this is definitely going to open up. This makes me wonder how much Breath of the Wild leading into things like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet really kind of helped open up the world, so to speak, in some games. I wonder how much that feeds into it, because I think that's reasonably, and this is fine. I think honestly, if we had this as a PC game, and it wasn't poorly optimized, I feel like this could be a smash hit. This could be an absolute banger. But once again, like my concern comes down to how powerful the system is, and I think that's going to be the bottleneck here.
A brand new race across the entire world starts here. Mario Kart World! The game launches on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2.
Okay, sure.
More details about this title will be shared in an upcoming Mario Kart World Direct. So be on the lookout for more information in the future.
So, okay, because contextually what they're saying, the April 17th is the Mario Kart World Direct. That is not going to be the release date for Mario Kart World, or is that going to be released for the Nintendo Switch 2? That was what I was curious about.
Mario Kart World launches on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2. We'll share more details in the future, so we hope you're looking forward to it.
Next, we'd like to introduce some of the new features of Nintendo Switch 2. These are the Joy-Con 2 controllers for Switch 2. And on the right Joy-Con 2, we've added a new C button.
Yeah, because I have spoiled information, that makes a little bit more sense. I also, the Joy-Cons kind of remind me of the N64 cartridges a little bit because of the little, it's not the chip, right? It's the thing, the little slat, right, that plugs into the actual console. It's very reminiscent of that for me. And I think that because a lot of people were, and I think rightfully so, are concerned about the structural integrity of them. So here's my thought process on this. Like if I pull out my 3DS, which is conveniently right next to me, right? My Hyrule Crest Edition new 3DS XL, right? The B button, after just years, like a decade plus of just hard wear and tear, Tauros running an Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, right? Like the B button's finally wearing out. I think that Joy-Cons, especially from a product longevity standpoint, I think is the correct call, as long as Joy-Cons don't have, and things in general don't have any defaults inherently. I know there's the issue in regards to Joy-Con integrity. I know that even Xbox, right, my Elite controller, the right bumper likes to wear out, right? And it's a known issue with the Xbox Elite controllers. So if this is made of Nintendium, I'm down. But if this is going to be trying to streamline for the cheapest product, I think that I have a little bit of an issue with that, if that makes sense, right? I think that I start to have a little bit of an issue and concern in regards to structural integrity of that.
Let's take a look at some new experiences it offers.
I'm ready for the C button. Let me know. I'm ready. The mouth movements. Yep. Uh-oh.
I'm still ahead of all of you guys. Woo! That was you? So quick. Oh, no. Wait, no.
Wait a minute. Wait. We have in-game voice. Did they literally bring back like the Wii Speak? Because remember, the Nintendo Wii, not the Wii U, the Wii had that Wii Speak microphone that you could plug into your console and speak to your friends with. Do we have voice chat again?
No.
Nix, I'm coming for you.
No, I'm about to get
Come on, no.
Introducing Game Chat, a new feature for Nintendo Switch 2.
There are going to be so many words that I cannot say on Twitch and YouTube dropped in that. Ooh, yeah, Yeah.
Hey, what's up? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hi, missed you.
With this feature, you'll be able to communicate with friends and family while playing a game.
Should we follow you? Yeah?
Yeah, follow me.
Okay.
Off for an adventure.
While using the game chat feature, your voice
The mic is built into the Switch 2. Got it.
is recognized by a microphone built into the system.
I have concerns with that, actually. I have concerns. I think we need to look at that EULA. We need to see that EULA in terms of service, very specifically, because if that is built into the console, is that microphone always going to be running? Is that going to be collecting data? Is that going to be collecting information on things that you say, right? That is my big concern. I'm okay. I mean, so realistically, right? What's the alternative? The alternative is it's a peripheral, right? Okay, totally makes sense, right? But not necessarily for Switch, especially when you're in handheld mode. My concern with this revolves around, one, if our data is going to be harvested. Two, if our data is being harvested, what is that data being used for? Is our data being sold? Three, are you able to opt out of this? And four, what does that EULA terms of service actually say in regards to this microphone? I think there's 4 key points that I really have some issues with.
Oh, okay. But you're still behind me, right? All right, let's keep going. Okay. So
It can pick up your speaking voice clearly, even from a distance.
Look at this. Jump on here. All right, let's keep going. It's coming. Let's make a left right here. Let's make a.
When it's noisy around you, your voice will still come through clearly, letting you chat with ease.
How did you get hit by a boat? Okay, nice.
It does look beautiful. It's okay.
And you can use this feature in handheld mode too, letting you easily chat with friends and family.
Sure.
If you open the chat menu and turn on game screen sharing,
Good job. There we go.
you can also share your game screen.
Is it powerful enough? So, I guess, okay. How do I dissect this? Because this actually interests me, and this kind of fascinates me a little bit. So we have screen sharing. We effectively have Discord Lite. Okay, whatever. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Because I remember the Switch 1 launched, and you had to get an adapter just to USB, not USB, to Ethernet into it, right? I'm assuming that's still going to be a standalone adapter. That's still going to be a peripheral. I'm curious on battery life, console performance. It looks like there is a mitigated frame rate here in regards to screen sharing, because it's not necessarily like you're reacting to something. You're sharing some gameplay with somebody else, right? Like, I'm kind of mixed on it. I think I'm really delving super deep down some rabbit holes that I don't think a lot of people really have the desire to.
Did you see someone just like go on top of that dinosaur?
Really? They can do that?
Can do it? You guys, I just did it. Oh, I want to do it too.
Oh shoot! Oh! Ooh! Oh, he's trying to eat me.
Okay, I got it.
Oh
Yay!
Okay. You can chat to your heart's content, even while playing different games.
Yeah, I know that.
I think I'm okay with this. I mean, I think right off the bat, we are noticing that there's going to be a frame rate discrepancy. That could be... So there could be a number of things going on. It could be internet strength. It could be Wi-Fi versus Ethernet. It could be console performance. It could be mitigated on purpose. It could be situational mitigation. I don't know. What happens if everyone's on the same network? Is this going to be available? I'm assuming not. Is this going to be available locally? I don't think so. Think like DS Download Play, kind of like local apps, quote unquote, from like the DS era, that kind of thing. I don't think that's going to be the thing. I don't think it's going to be like Mi Plaza or anything like that. Street Pass. I think this is going to be strictly an online thing. It would not surprise me if this is hard baked into the Nintendo Online membership, which I already pay as is. Would not surprise me if that price also gets inflated.
And it's so hard, right? It's tough.
Oh wow! I'm like in the sky right here. I fell! I'm falling! Okay, we got it. We're safe.
Kirby, look, you're on a star. That's so cute. So cute.
You can adjust the size of your game screen.
Guys, I'm lost. Like,
Where'd you go?
I do like that level.
Or expand another friend's game screen.
You gotta get above that wall that's to your left.
You're almost there,
It's just like the wall. Like if she gets past the wall.
this is where I have to do a little wall ride.
Okay. Okay.
so everyone can watch them play.
Oh, I think I know where you are. I think I know where you are. Wait.
Okay, I think we have to try that.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, nice.
Let's take a picture here.
Okay, are you ready?
Smile.
Yay!
Oh, yo, that's sick.
I like your pose, Meeks.
On the right Joy-Con 2 controller, there's an additional button. With the C button, you can pull up a chat menu.
Oh, dang.
Oh, really cool. Wait, actually, guys, I got a call coming right now, so I'll be right back, yeah?
Okay, for sure.
Here, you can quickly and easily mute yourself and more. And there's this. By connecting this camera to the system.
Yeah, so this is just We Speak 2.0 effectively. I'm kind of down with it.
Hey!
Hey, what's up? Hello. Yo. Yeah.
Hi, how's everyone doing? Good?
Yo, we're going to have work meetings. This is the new Zoom. We're going to have work meetings playing Animal Crossing. And then you'll have Terrence in accounting who's playing like Metroid Prime 4. And then HR has to talk to Terrence because, now Terrence, we're supposed to be playing some work building activities here. We need some trust exercises. Why are you playing Metroid Prime 4? Oh my god, legally that cannot happen though. Like I'm sure that there are so many things wrong with trying to use this as a work alternative, especially in a commercial sense. Like you cannot be insert big bank here, insert large corporation here and do this. Like I'm sure there's actual like channels you have to go through.
You can appear on screen and video chat while playing a game.
Your face is on here.
Wait, Nick, how was your test yesterday?
It was good.
No.
Here's how it looks with just the camera feed.
I'm way behind, guys.
There you go. I bet you like
Can
that.
you wait for me?
Please look forward to games which use your camera feed like this.
Oh,
That was good.
okay. No,
Yeah, that
wait.
looks good.
Go
That's
left,
good.
go left. Left,
Oh, wait,
left.
maybe
Okay.
if I go a little more this way. Oh.
Using game chat. Even when you're apart, you can play games and hang out as if you were together in the same room. Play together or compete in online multiplayer games. Chat while playing your personal favorites. Decide your own rules for a retro game competition.
Sure.
Or hold a sports competition between families. All together, anytime, anywhere. Game chat.
So if we have the microphone back, does that mean Chatot is going to have utility again? Because remember Chatot being in Gen 4, Diamond Pearl Platinum that debuted, well, Diamond Pearl specifically, that debuted on the DS because the DS had a microphone, right? Chatot, you were able to, talk into the microphone and then the cry became the microphone. Subsequently, why Chatot's banned, because people saying not so legit things, let's put it that way. Kinnead also brings up a good point in chat streaming. This makes me wonder if they're trying to chase the streaming bandwagon that Xboxes and PlayStations, since the PS4, Xbox One era started to get on, right? Being able to stream natively to the Twitch app, especially if you have that camera. I think that it could open up streaming if you had the Twitch app installed. That being said, I know that streaming is very bandwidth heavy, and I know that it can be very processing heavy, especially doing model things, right? But obviously you're not doing that. You're just streaming the feeds, right? If that is the case, is the console and the battery going to be able to support that? Is it going to have the power? Is it going to be able to have the processing? And is it going to be able to have the battery life to really support that? That there's a lot that hinges on the actual specs of the console for me.
What did you think? In developing Game Chat, our goal was for you to enjoy playing online with others more closely,
Sure.
including family and friends, almost as if you're all playing together in the same place. The camera you saw in the trailer is the Nintendo Switch 2 camera, which will be available on the same day as Switch 2. A Nintendo Switch Online membership will be required to use Game Chat.
Okay, so yeah, you're not gonna be able to use this like DS download, play, local play. This is going to be very specifically an online thing.
However, since we'd like as many people as possible to experience Game Chat, it will be available without a membership for a limited time.
Fair enough. Trial
We hope
period.
you'll try it out. Additionally, Game Chat supports the Nintendo Switch Parental Controls app, and different settings can be adjusted. For example, whether parental permission is always required when a child wants to use Game Chat to play with their friends.
I view this as a huge win. Personally, I'm tired of little Timmy ending up in games little Timmy shouldn't be playing from a personal standpoint. The expectation is if I hop into something like, I don't know, Call of Duty. I haven't played Call of Duty in a hot minute, but if I hop into Call of Duty, I'm not hearing little Timmy squeaking over the microphone, right? I don't have little Timmy asking his mother to buy Grand Theft Auto 5 and 6 and having to deal with little Timmy screaming in game chat. Even then, games like Sea of Thieves, where there's what was it? But Buddy sent me a clip, and it was a Sea of Thieves. He had this kid over the open mic, and he's swimming up to somebody, and he's just like going skibbity skibbity riz, just brain rot status. To which the person filming it just takes out a blow dart and just blows him up. It was really funny. I like this, and I think that parents should be utilizing a lot more of these parental features. As a parent, realistically, let's talk on the same level for a second. You do have that control, okay? I can tell you for me personally, I picked up games like Resident Evil 4 way before I realistically should have. Playing games like Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, right? Like, I was an adult at the time, but right, it's like there's certain games that, yes, you can argue some kids are more mature, air quotes, right? But like, as a parent, you need to be engaging with your child. You need to make sure that you are monitoring what they're into. If little Timmy's playing Resident Evil 4, you might want to have him not, because that covers some not just from the actual like Ganado standpoint, but you have like Jack Krauser who talks about you really think a conservative mind could chart a course for the world, right? Very deep and heavy stuff. I would very much, especially the cliches. Osmond Saddler talks about, Mr. Kennedy, something. Was it the American prevailing is only seen in your Hollywood movies? I love Sadler's old VA, but please use parental controls, not even just on the Switch, like on your phones. Like, please use those options. You, as a parent, should feel empowered to use those parental controls. Sure, your kid may kind of hate you in some capacity. Your kid might have a disagreement with it, but you are the parent. They will respect you. That's kind of the thing. So yeah, absolutely utilize this, especially for moving toward I feel like Nintendo is doing their best that they can, because yes, online interaction is not rated by ESRB. We've all seen it when booting up games, right? Whether that's Xbox, PlayStation, etc. Online interaction is not rated by ESRB. Yes, what happens in voice chat you necessarily can't control, and that's why report systems are valid. However, being able to be proactive as a parent and be able to use parental controls is going to be a huge benefit. You might feel like a jerk, but like there's just use them. They're tools for a reason. You should feel empowered to use these. Nintendo is literally giving you the opportunity for parental controls.
We'd like to introduce another new experience you can share with family and friends. On Nintendo Switch, even if you just have one game, you can pass a Joy-Con controller to a friend and play together.
Sure.
But on Nintendo Switch 2, you can play together locally on multiple systems using just one game.
Oh, hell yeah.
With Game Share. As shown here, even games that require multiple screens can be played if one person owns a compatible game.
So this does showcase that Switch 2 models, Switch 1 models, as well as Switch Lite models are going to be compatible with this, which is good. I like this. I really like this. I'm assuming the Game Share, it's not going to be all games. It is only games with the Game Share capability enabled. And I'm super down for this.
With Game Share, you can temporarily share compatible games with others who also have Nintendo Switch 2 or a Nintendo Switch system. You can share a game with up to 3 other systems at a time. Game Share also supports online play with other Switch 2 systems, and you can use it with friends via Game Chat, which we showed earlier. Game Share can only be used with compatible games.
Right.
This feature is planned for several titles, starting with a free update for Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics on Nintendo Switch.
I mean, this makes sense. I mean, you could call this from a mile away. You're not going to be able to play something like Ocarina of Time. Got old Zelda on the brain. You're not going to be able to play something like Pokemon, right? It's got to be a compatible game with Game Share. However, as long as the library is robust enough, I mean, Clubhouse 51 looks like this is, I've heard a lot of good things about it personally. This is going to be one of those things where, yeah, like titles that are compatible with game share. You see that a mile away. I'm for this. I think this is very consumer friendly.
Game share support is also planned for select games exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2.
Interesting.
So we hope you'll look forward to it.
Interesting.
Up next, we'd like to show you the Nintendo Switch 2 system itself.
How many tries did it take for them to actually get that perfect?
Please take a look.
I'm ready. I need this. Thick.
At 7.9 inches, Switch 2 has a bigger built-in screen. Here's how that compares to Nintendo Switch. The system's thickness remains the same.
Okay. I'm down with this. In a lot of aspects, the Steam Deck is a little too thick, too girthy for me. I love my Steam Deck. I was playing Dark Souls 3 on it the other day. I like the size. I like bigger screens, especially just because I can't see garbage. Like I can't see. I am blind. Ask Twitch chat how many times I've had to point out something obvious to me on stream. Right. I like it. Bigger's better. I mean, I have a S23 Ultra. Right. I mean, I go for the bigger phones too. Yeah, I'm down for it. I think it's great, especially because generally you're carrying it around in your Nintendo Switch case. You're not necessarily putting it in, I don't know, like a purse. You could, right? But generally, like, we have Nintendo Switch cases.
With approximately double the pixels compared to Switch, you can enjoy games in greater detail on the 1080p screen.
Okay. Up to 120 frames a second. What's the asterisk? Like, there's not an asterisk there, but my brain immediately goes to what's the asterisk? What's the catch? What is the? I'm assuming it's on compatible titles.
Screen supports up to 120 frames per second, allowing for smoother gameplay in supported titles.
Okay, supported titles. There it is.
The LCD screen is more vivid and supports HDR.
How does this compare to the OLED, though? Because I have an OLED.
Providing more contrast between light and dark areas of the images.
Okay.
The all-new Joy-Con 2 controllers connect magnetically. Strong magnets keep the controllers firmly attached to the system. Detach your controller easily by pressing the release button on the back.
It also looks like they're pretty girthy, the connector points. I mean, even if it's not necessarily made of Nintendium, I feel like this will have some stability. I would be very surprised if, considering how the Joy-Cons launched with the Switch 1, they didn't take any lessons to heart and kind of try to adjust. The magnets are the one that concerns me, though. Eventually, these will lose their magnetic charge, right, as all magnets do, right? Can you remagnetize them? Is there a kit that Nintendo's going to sell to remagnetize them? Do you have to buy a brand new Joy-Con? What is the life expectancy of it? Like, it's not going to be Nintendium, especially dealing with magnets, which are, for all intents and purposes, on a timer, right? So, I'm a little concerned. I'm cautiously optimistic. I think it'll be fine in 10,000. It depends on the strength of the magnet, right? Because sure, you have stronger magnets, you have weaker magnets, right? Some of the small magnets that you put on the bottom of your Warhammer 40K models, eventually they're just going to lose their magnetic charge, right? Full disclosure, am not a specialist in magnetic sciences. I'm not, personally. I have to disclose that. I'm very curious for people who have more understanding of magnets than I do. Especially if there's a maximum ceiling for strength that the magnets could have, so it doesn't interfere with any of the internals of the Switch itself. I think it'd be interesting to look into. I'm okay with this, actually.
The SL and SR buttons are bigger for greater comfort and control when playing with a Joy-Con 2 held horizontally.
Sure.
The left and right sticks are now larger.
Yes.
Each Joy-Con 2 controller can be used as a mouse to play with compatible games.
That's actually sick AF. I actually really like that.
Both the left and right Joy-Con 2 support mouse controls.
Sure, okay.
By adjusting the audio balance between the ranges, sounds from the built-in speakers are clearer and more natural in handheld and tabletop modes. It has a built-in microphone, so you can voice chat with friends anytime via game chat.
Am I the only one who kind of wishes Reggie was voicing this? Am I the only one who? I'm not the only one who misses Reggie. I know that. What was the text at the bottom of the screen here? I'm not the only one who misses Reggie, but I'm kind of sad that Reggie isn't here. I would love his voiceover of this. Internet Switch on Switch online memberships will say a Nintendo account required for online features, including game chat, not available in all countries. Terms and game chat requirements apply. I do like this legal disclosure here.
Game chat. It also uses noise-canceling technology to filter sounds, so your voice will come through clearly.
Yeah.
Even if you don't have a surround sound system, games can be enjoyed with more immersive.
Only available in compatible games. 3D audio support by built-in speakers requires a system update. Yeah, makes sense.
Three-dimensional sound, as if it were coming from all around you.
Not a selling point for me personally, but then again, I'm kind of a boomer in certain aspects when it comes to games and like peripherals and stuff. Like, I'm perfectly fine playing games at like 1080, 60. I don't have really any desire to push 2K, 120, 140 frames. No real like Dolby Atmos, whatever, surround sound. I don't know. Sure, I don't like mono. I would like dual, right? But like, I don't know. Not necessarily a selling point for me. I think the option is nice, and I think there are people who this is absolutely going to sell to.
Place your Nintendo Switch 2 however you like with a large, sturdy
I kind of like
stand.
that. Yeah, that's
you can move it
fine.
freely, like this.
I'm a fan of that. 2 ports.
In addition to the USB-C port found on the bottom of the system, there's one on top as well.
Why? Why? Because you're are we? Oh, I guess technically the camera. Yeah, that does make sense. So there is a non-zero chance that we're going to get other peripherals as well with that. My immediate thought went to what magic tech sorcerer, what Adeptus Mechanicus somewhere is going to be able to use both USB-Cs to do some funny things with the Switch 2 literally hours after it launches, charging from the top. I mean, yeah. I think I'm a fan of it. I think I had to let it sit for a minute. I think that you're going to have a lot of people who like to look at tech and try to disassemble tech and see how they can break tech. I think they're going to try to look at that. I think that they're going to hacking the mainframe, so to speak. I think that they're going to look at that. I don't necessarily know if that's going to be something that's going to be relevant or not. It's not my area of interest. But looking at the peripheral angle, as well as being able to, yeah, it is kind of clunky, I guess, to be fair. Like, if I was, sometimes you want to just, like, not have a USB, because I use, like, a portable charger, right, when I go out, odd times when I go out, and I'll have, like, my USB-C from it into the Switch on the bottom. Yeah, I could see the top being a comfortability thing. I could totally see that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think that that's fair, especially if we have more peripherals. Like, they're going back to, like, kind of like Wii philosophy, so to speak. It's not even Wii philosophy, because we had the 64DD, right? We had the 64 disk drive. Actually, I mean, Nintendo's kind of always done peripherals, have they not? Even NES days, right? I don't necessarily know about the Famicom. I'm pretty sure it does. But we have things, like the Duck Hunt light gun, right? Which doesn't work on modern TVs and stuff. Like, we have, I guess that's more proprietary, though. Like, that's actual, like, game focused. Nintendo's always been fairly hard on proprietary tech, and that's just fair.
Handy for connecting a USB-C camera.
Sure.
Or charging in tabletop mode.
Makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. That fixes that.
Nintendo Switch 2 comes with 256 gigabytes of internal storage.
Thank God.
8 times that of Nintendo Switch.
Not 16 times the detail, but I will absolutely take this as a win.
For storing your game downloads, save data, and more. Reading and writing data is also faster.
Okay.
Use the Nintendo Switch 2 dock to connect to your TV and enable up to 4K resolution for compatible games.
I kind of like it because I'm looking at my OLED, because I got the Tears of the Kingdom one, and it feels kind of flimsy. I mean, this probably still feels fairly similar, but I kind of like the design and the more rounded appeal on the top. I kind of like that.
HDR is also supported in TV mode.
Sure.
The Nintendo Switch 2 dock has a built-in fan that keeps your system cool.
Nice.
This helps keep performance stable.
Cool.
On Nintendo Switch 2, you can play Nintendo Switch 2 games, as well as compatible Nintendo Switch games.
No. What do you mean compatible Switch 1 games? I'm reading between the lines here. Some Nintendo Switch games may not be supported or fully compatible with the Nintendo Switch 2. Visit Nintendo's website for compatible information. I don't like that. I immediately do not like that. What inherently is different enough from the Nintendo Switch into the Switch 2 that would necessitate in any way, shape, or form invalidating part of that backlog? Going to be games like Labo. The way that it's worded makes me feel like it's going to be more, though, and that's my concern. I think I'm having to nitpick the legal wording here, right? It also gives them room to wiggle, so some Nintendo Switch games may not be supported or fully compatible. I'm cautiously optimistic on this. Because, yeah, I get from a hardware standpoint, like Ring Fit Adventure, Labo, I kind of get that. But if it's anything, like let's say I was not able to play Baldur's Gate, right? Like plug in a Switch card of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, and I was not able to play that, I view that as incredibly egregious. On Breath of the Wild, it would honestly be, pun intended, wild if Breath of the Wild was in any way, shape, or form inoperable on the Switch 2. They have dead notes on the Nintendo website. Okay, so using meta information, every game works. They have dev notes on the Nintendo website. Okay, because this is an odd one, and I feel like this is a very interesting disclosure. I also have a tendency to read between the lines.
Physical and digital games are supported.
Sure, makes sense.
As you just saw, Nintendo Switch 2 isn't simply an improved Nintendo Switch. We redesigned the system from the ground up and packed in lots of new gameplay features. And to help players better understand the Switch 2 hardware, we're currently developing this game. Mr. Kawamoto!
Hello. My current location is actually inside the game itself.
Nice.
This is Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2. I'm standing over here. Okay, everyone, join me inside the game. There are a lot of question mark icons here. Let's examine them. This sign reads, "Where are the magnets?" The Joy-Con 2 controllers attach to the system with magnets. And those
if this is a game, this reads like Miitopia kind of thing, right? The Wii U title with where you get the Miis in and then they do things. I'm interested to see if this is a game or if this is built in as kind of the manual experience, or if this is like freeware. I want to know what this comes down as.
Magnets are inside the system.
Game is dumb. Okay, so this is a full game.
The SL and SR buttons on the Joy-Con 2 are made of metal, so that's how they attach to the system. A magnetic circuit is formed between them, so they won't easily detach.
Sure.
Through examining signs like these, you can discover all sorts of secrets about Nintendo Switch 2. Another example, the Joy-Con 2 controllers have mouse controls. And when combined with the gyroscopes, you can even do something like this.
God, I love gyros, dude. This makes me hope that eventually we might get the actual Grezzo, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask 3Ds. Dude, I would absolutely buy those at a primo. And that's the thing that's coming across right now, right? With this Nintendo Direct, it seems like Nintendo is kind of leaning into the let's give people a quality console. Let's compete with the Steam Deck. Let's compete, especially with our prior product. Let's compete with all these other handhelds. Let's offer you a quality product. However, even if they're taking a loss on the console's Microsoft status, right? If they're taking a financial loss on it, it seems that the games are going to be more expensive. They are charging premium for these. It just like, right? Because you get like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet right now, go down to like your local store, right? They'll probably be selling for 60, right? Some games are 70, right? Tears of the Kingdom, I was very harsh that they delayed it as long as they did in certain aspects, but also because they raised that price to that premium status. I don't think the game was premium. I don't think it was worth that $70 price tag personally. Now, your mileage may vary. You're entitled to your own opinion. That's fine. I'm not going to take that from you, nor should really anybody. The problem that you're going to run into with charging Primo is the expectation is higher. Just because gamers are going to be incredibly resilient and incredibly stubborn, and I mean that in a good way, when we start seeing games that are just at launch, just at MSRP $80 and $90, right? USD. When the games become that expensive, where buying a game on Steam is like, you still have your standard, like $59.99. Like the Bleach game, there's a new Bleach game, the anime Bleach, there's a new Bleach game on Steam. Didn't even know it launched, so I bought it. I intend to stream it at some point because I think it'd be cool to revisit it, go through Waco Mundo. I think that it's, yeah, because you have your $60 edition, you have your $80 edition, and your $100+ edition, right? But those are editions, and you do have that option to be able to do that. If you are asking out the gate 80 to 90 USD for that, you have to deliver. You have to make sure that your quality is there, or else you're going to have a lot of really negative feedback. This is a very, very bold move from them. I'm for it. I would even pay the prices as long as they can deliver. And that's the big one, right? You are saying you have this, our games are worth $80 to $90? Sure, absolutely. I need to see that quality though. If I have that quality assurance, that's Nintendo approved seal, and it's good, because you know it's good. I'm for this. I think that it's interesting to see how they're presenting this. I want to see the price point of the Switch too. So I just know how much to actually budget for it. Because I will stream that day one if I physically can, and I'm very curious. I think that they're really leaning into the primo Rolls Royce, not like the status symbol, right? They're leaning into the Switch 2 kind of being this status premier handheld.
You can adjust the position of the golf club and aim for the cup by rotating the Joy-Con too.
Sure. Just Wii Sports all over again.
By combining the mouse controls and gyroscopes, things like this are possible. There are secrets to discover even as you're playing minigames and tech demos. Some of the secrets range from the unique features of the system to tiny details you might not notice until they're pointed out.
Sure.
There are plenty. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour will launch as a paid digital game on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2. So please check it out if you're interested.
I would have to see some value in that. Personally, doesn't necessarily sell to me. I don't have enough to really I don't have enough to really sell me on it, if that makes sense. Just because it's a launch title doesn't mean I'm going to get it, if that makes sense.
Now, I'd like to share some more information regarding Nintendo Switch 2. This is the game card for Nintendo Switch 2 titles.
Sure.
It's the same shape as Nintendo Switch game cards.
Right.
But it's now red, and it has much faster data reading speeds.
Okay.
Next up is additional storage.
Sure.
Switch 2 will only work with micro SD express cards.
Are there generic versions of this? So I see SanDisk, right? But those, not necessarily, not great value. What are they called? Do I have one in my drawer here? There's generic brand SD cards. I have a Samsung here. It's my drawer of many things. Don't worry about it. I'm surely it's got to be just labeled as ArcType Express micro SD card. Well, I'm assuming something like Western Digital. I'm assuming on ONN, right? I'm assuming those brands would probably work. I would really have to delve into it. I think I got I want to see if the 1 terabytes will work. That's generally where my mindset is at. I want to see those 1 terabytes. I want to see if they're going to work.
Different type of SD card and will make high-speed data transfers possible.
Sure.
Please note that regular micro SD cards used for Nintendo Switch will not be compatible.
Interesting. So this is effectively the equivalent of Lamau, you need an SSD to run Space Marine 2 on PC. I could see that being the angle here. If I need to invest, as long as I can invest up like 512 to 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes, let's be real, would probably be a thing, right? Probably not be a thing. Once again, we're getting into you're having to buy a complete new console at this point. You're having to get these Archetype Express cards, right? You're buying into a completely new system. This is not necessarily the big from like, I don't know, like Android to Apple, but this is like Apple's like last gen or like 2 gens ago into current gen Apple, right? I think that like you're within the same wheelhouse, but the updates are so substantial that you're kind of, how do I word it? The updates are so substantial that you're having to upgrade everything and therefore buying into a brand new ecosystem despite being in the same family. That's how I'm going to word that. Like, this is interesting that the old ones are going to be dated now, but that's fine. Those might also go on sale too. I think that this is, once again, I need to see the performance. I need to see the return because this is going to be an investment. I mean, realistically, you should be able to system transfer because you have the wireless transfer, right, for save files and stuff. I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of transfer mechanism, say a data transfer, save file transfer. If not, you might have to re-download everything, and that is egregious in a sense. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on it, if that makes sense. I'm kind of on the fence because this kind of goes both ways. I think I'm leaning towards, yeah, I see the frustration, but I'm also like, if this is their new platform starting out, if this is like actually like their new platform, think like, I don't know, Xbox 360 versus the Xbox 360 like Elite, right? The midway one where there wasn't so curvy, it wasn't so like curvy, it was like actually more angular. It was the brand new model. But even then, that was negligible. I mean, like it did other things, it did certain things, right? But it wasn't necessarily a jump. I need to see more. Chat did also bring up, thank you for bringing this up, to an adult, yeah, the Switch tour thing doesn't necessarily do a whole lot. However, if, you know, as a kid, I mean, yeah, absolutely. I think that makes sense. I think twisting the perspective on that a little bit makes a little bit more sense.
Additionally, to transfer data from Switch to Switch 2, you can log into your Nintendo account to use the system transfer feature.
Yeah, I've literally used this. I've used this between like my Switch 2 and my Switch OLED. Yeah, like this exists.
With this feature, you can transfer save data, digital games, and more. We're also releasing a new Pro controller. It has a C button, which launches Game Chat, and on the back, there are new GL and GR buttons, which you can use to assign existing button controls.
This really just makes me, I'm literally looking, because I was playing Dark Souls 3 earlier, so I have my Xbox Elite controller like right here. This makes me really miss the quad paddles, dude. I wonder if they have a monopoly on that. I miss the quad paddles. Like, I literally love my Elite controllers.
In addition, an audio jack has been added. We've introduced a few new features, and after today's presentation, the official Nintendo Switch 2 website will go live.
Okay.
There will also be an Ask the Developer article on the website, where the three of us will talk about the development of Nintendo Switch 2. We hope you'll check that out as well.
In all fairness, the Xbox Elite controller is like, what, $179.99 with full kit. You can get the core unit, which is like $129, something like that. Like, you can get that. I think 80 is kind of the ballpark of PS4 controllers. But once again, we come to the same logic of, if we're comparing this to a PS5 controllers, PS5 controller, if we're comparing this to Xbox Elite controllers, what is your value proposition? Just that it's your proprietary controller for the Nintendo Switch 2? Is the Nintendo Switch 2 worth it? And that's the $1 million question right now.
And now, the Nintendo Switch 2 launch date. Nintendo Switch 2 launches on June 5th. We're very much looking forward to the day when you all get to experience it, so please wait just a bit longer.
Okay, yeah, I have a couple paydays in between that. I should be fine.
Now, broadly speaking, on Nintendo Switch 2, you can play 3 types of games. The first type is Nintendo Switch 2 games.
Right.
These games take advantage of the performance and features of Switch 2. The second type is compatible games that were released on Nintendo Switch.
Right.
Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games are the third type. Some games that were released on Switch will receive upgraded versions that offer things like improved visuals, unique ways to play on Switch 2, and more.
So is this the PlayStation equivalent of like giving Bloodborne that PS5 upgrade or giving games that PS5 upgrade, where it's an update that makes it perform better with the Switch 2? This is what this sounds like.
Now, I'd like to show you the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Super Mario Party Jamboree. Please take a look.
I guess, yeah, having an anchor point into Nintendo Switch to the Switch 2, I guess it makes sense to have an anchor point.
Super Mario Party Jamboree is getting an upgrade on Nintendo Switch 2. The upgrade expands on the base game and adds new features, including mouse controls, audio recognition, more expressive rumble, and gameplay that uses a camera accessory.
Oh, no, I will firmly pass on that. There's a reason I use a model. Look, I don't necessarily fit in with the VTuber community. That's not a jab at the VTuber community. I kind of just show up, and I'm kind of just this cool little guy that just shows up sometimes in people's feeds, right? I very specifically do not have myself on camera, especially when I stream. Not at the point where I feel comfortable enough. Especially some of the content I've had to cover, how upset some people have gotten. I prefer my anonymity. I do actually rather enjoy my anonymity. I might be being a little overcautious, but in today's world, caution definitely pays dividends. Yeah, I can see this being a Connect experience. This does make me wonder if we're gonna have like I don't know if it was necessarily in the current Mario Party. What is it? Choice's voice. I know Vinny Vinesauce did it a few times, right? Where he was playing a Mario Party and he had to use the mic. I think it was on 3DS. I wonder if we're going to get a return of that then, if it hasn't already been confirmed.
All of which can be accessed on Switch 2. Let's check out
That
3
chroma
new
key.
and updated modes. First up is Mario Party mode. With a single camera, up to 4 players can join the festivities. You'll be able to see each other's faces as you play, so you can experience all the reactions and emotions in real time.
Hold up.
So you can...
I need this, but I need Aaron. I need Ego Raptor doing this. I need Ego Raptor doing faces while doing this. That is the content that I crave in my life.
Experience all the reactions and emotions in real time. Or 4 friends can take the party online. Up next, it's Bowser Live, a mode where the livelier team wins.
Sure.
Bowser will bring you on stage 2. Hit blocks to collect the most coins. Guide
This is actually interesting. You know what this reminds me of?
2.
This reminds me of Wii philosophy. We would like to play, right? And having people, do the funny trumpets, doing, Wii Sports, etc. This feels like it's a return to Wii era philosophy in a way. And that's incredibly interesting to me, especially because I would argue the philosophy got a little more sedentary, did it not, with the release of the Wii U? Which you could argue the Wii U is just a prototype Switch. And then the Switch is clearly the first round of what this is going to be, or what this is claiming to be, right? What this is gearing up to be. And I'm honestly for that. I think that a return to this kind of group-minded philosophy, and even this active philosophy, I do think that is... It's interesting to see a return to this. It's almost like a return to form, so to speak. And I'm kind of into it. I actually really love it.
Hit blocks to collect the most coins. Guide an RC car with your voice. Go! And compete
I literally cannot wait for the Vinesauce clip comp on that one.
in other mini-games using full body movement and sound. Finally, take a ride on the mouse-controlled carnival coaster. With the safety bar lowered and secured, you're off! Go! Use mouse controls to shoot down enemies while you feel the bumps and rumbles of the coaster. When you enter a pipe, a minigame will begin. There's a bouldering game where 2 players each control an arm. and one where you shake a can of spray paint and quickly tag objects. Enjoy the thrill of these intuitive mini-games. How quickly can you reach the station? From mini-games that use a camera, the built-in microphone, mouse controls, and rumble, the biggest party yet is getting even bigger. Super Mario Party Jamboree, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, plus Jamboree TV launches on Nintendo Switch 2, July 24th.
I could be heckled into this. I could absolutely be heckled into this. Like, especially going into the coming years. I'm more and more looking into setting up certain things, setting up plans I don't necessarily want to get into right now. I have some plans in the works right now that I want to try to work towards. I could be heckled into this with a group because I've never honestly really played Mario Party. It's always been one of those I haven't had enough friends to. I think I'd have a sleepover once. I played it. I was at a party once, actually. Party when I was in middle school, so party, quote unquote, birthday party status. Played Mario Party. Not really something I have experience with. I could be heckled into buying this. I could do this. The camera
Nintendo Switch 2 players who already own Super Mario Party Jamboree can upgrade to Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV by purchasing an upgrade pack.
Purchasing an upgrade pack, not a free update. Interesting terminology or interesting to know on that. I wonder what the upgrade fee is going to be. What is going to be that tax, so to speak?
Please look forward to a new Mario Party experience, where you can see each other's reactions while playing. Let's continue presenting some more Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games.
Okay.
Nintendo Switch 2 editions of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom feature enhanced resolution and frame rates, and also support HDR.
Give me that frame rate, dude. I need to see when it's raining, though. Please let me see, like, what is it, Lanayru Province when it's raining? I need to see it. I need to see if it's going to chug.
Which makes the image more vibrant, so you can play with smoother, higher definition graphics.
Sure.
Plus, you can get even more out of your adventures in Hyrule using Zelda Notes.
The what?
This new feature can be accessed via the Nintendo Switch app on smart devices. It's a game-specific service that's exclusive to the Switch 2 editions of these titles. For example, it can help guide you to various locations, like shrines and Koroks you haven't found yet.
Now, that's a value proposition right there. Sure, absolutely. I could go Google, Korok shrines location. If this syncs up with your game, I see this as an incredible value proposition, actually. Especially if it's already bundled within your Nintendo Online membership. I could actually see this going pretty hard.
Guidance activating. Proceed north.
Or you can share your creations using QR codes and send them to another player to create in their game.
No. No. You think you want that? No. No. That's we're gonna have some banned creations really quick. Is all I'm gonna say. We're gonna have some. We're gonna have a filter process it's gonna be Smash Bros. Custom stadiums all over again. Like we're expecting this, right? Like, no, we're not deluding ourselves. We're expecting this, right? Just making sure we're all on the same page here. So Nintendo's actually always done stuff like this because remember, there used to be I was hearing about this. I think it was in a Hunter R video I was watching. You used to be able to, suspend your, it was like Whatsunomori Animal Crossing, right? You could suspend your town to upload it to an SD card to send it to your friend to look at your town. Like, Nintendo has always kind of been on this tech, even without the internet. Yes, the GameCube did have an internet port, right? It had a internet adapter for it, but Nintendo has always kind of been on that tech, so to speak. you might argue more disproportionately on the Pokemon side of things, but like even games like Animal Crossing, you used to be able to do wild shenanigans and share with. I think that's why I've liked a lot of the Nintendo games, because it's that interconnectivity. It's that philosophy on gaming together. As somebody who literally has Kizuna, bonds of friendship, in my name, like you could call me biased, and I would argue, yeah, I am biased. I'm also biased to couch co-op in games like Halo. I love that, and I'm continuously upset when it's just not a priority anymore. So I think it's interesting, and someone's gonna know exactly what I'm talking about in regards to like the old like Dobutsu no Mori, upload it to an SD card, and then your friend can use your town, but it's currently suspended while it's in use, right? Very interesting tech, especially for the era.
We hope these features will make your adventures even more enjoyable.
I will do a run on the Switch too. I would do it. I'm overdue.
In Kirby and the Forgotten Land, you'll be able to enjoy an additional story exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, along with improved graphics and frame rates.
Okay.
This story takes place in the Forgotten Land after being struck by a powerful meteor that's causing some mysterious changes. We hope you're looking
Amazing.
forward to Kirby's new adventure. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will have both a Nintendo Switch and a Nintendo Switch.
So hold up. Yeah, we are getting Metroid Prime 4. The thing that they revealed with the Star Fox Wii U game, there was an old, was it Nintendo Direct back then? I think it was Nintendo Direct, or was it a Treehouse presentation? I don't remember what it was called. But Wii U era, did we not? It's kind of like Elder Scrolls 6 status, right? Todd, it's been 6 years. You're just now starting development. You had that at an E3 6 years ago. But yeah, there was an old Metroid. The logo is different now, which makes me wonder if there's been revisions, if they went back to the drawing board, like Anthem stat. I wonder why the logo changed. Not that I'm against it. I've also never played Metroid Prime. I've never played a Metroid. Yes, I know it. The VOD channel is going to be very, very stacked, is what I'm saying. I'm currently running through Dark Souls. I know it. I know it's. I would love to. I would love to be able to hands off the React channel more and be able to do more with the VOD channel, which is actually why I have moving plans this year. It's going to be a very interesting year. Move to a place with better internet to be able to upload a lot more for you guys. Yeah, I would be very interested in the Metroid series
2 edition.
They changed devs entirely. Interesting. It looks clean.
In addition to standard controls, you can use mouse controls for intuitive gameplay on Switch 2.
Is it bad that I'm just seeing Destiny?
Plus, you can explore the immersive world in 4K at 60 frames per second,
Hot
or
damn.
enjoy smoother action in Full HD at 120 frames per second. Choose from these 2 modes, both of which support HDR, based on your preference and playstyle.
I mean, I could see it looking like a Wii game, but also do we necessarily need the hyperphotorealism, right? Yeah, we don't want our games to look like hot garbage. I understand that. You want your game to look good. You want to look and be like, oh yeah, this is super pretty. This is awesome, right? But do we need the excessive hyperphotorealism? I would argue not. I personally am a fan of games like Resident Evil 5. I'm personally a fan of Halo 3, Halo Reach, Halo 4. I continuously argue Resident Evil 5 and Modern Warfare 2, OG Modern Warfare 2, were kind of where graphics for me kind of peaked. Kind of like how Davy Jones in Pirates of the Caribbean 3 was the peak of 3D, the CGI, and we just kind of have been rolling backwards from that, which frustrates me to no end. God, it was a good movie, though. I think it looks good. I think I would have to see a little more of it. It's not N64 tree status like Sword and Shield Scarlet Violet, right? But it makes me... I think that a return to stylized games is long overdue. We need more games like Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. I think we do, absolutely. There are games like... it was Link to the Past 2. What was it? Link Between Worlds, right? And that was stylized in a 3D way that was evocative of the original Link to the Past from everything I've seen about it. I've never played Link to the Past personally. I do apologize. I am working back through the Zelda games as I can on the VOD channel. I think a return to stylized games that are good, not even cartoonish, stylized games that have their own identity and are good, that are works of art, I would pay premium for if they were good, if they were stable, if they had good performance. I would pay primo for that.
Plus,
yeah,
Pokemon Legends ZA, which is scheduled
what?
to launch later this.
What was that?
Plus, and playstyle.
That was so weird. You heard the audio cut out too, right?
Plus,
that was weird.
Pokemon Legends ZA, which is scheduled to launch later this year.
Those Pavilion look so pretty. I love that pincer too. Oh my god, this is perfect.
Will not only receive a Nintendo Switch version, but a Nintendo Switch 2 edition as well.
Keystone.
By taking advantage of the power of Switch 2, you can enjoy your adventure in Lumio City with enhanced resolution and frame rates. The Nintendo Switch 2 edition games you just saw will be available as both physical and digital versions.
I'm going to have to buy Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild again, aren't I? I'm probably going to start buying physical, even if I have to pay a premium for the physical, on premise of games preservation. I don't necessarily know enough about, because if it's online, right, I'm buying a license. If I'm buying a physical Switch cart, do I physically buy the game? I know there's certain games like Metal Gear Solid, which you buy the game only to have to update for the games. If I own it, I would be willing to pay premium for games preservation purposes.
And
this is fine.
If you already own the Nintendo Switch version of a game, you can play the Nintendo Switch 2 edition by purchasing an upgrade pack.
Which, yep, the upgrade pack does inherently seem like it will be a digital purchase. Keep that in mind.
We hope you're looking forward to these Nintendo Switch 2 edition games.
Next, I'd like to introduce a brand new game featuring mouse controls with the Joy-Con 2 controllers. Please take a look.
This kind of reminds me of like Xbox Live Arcade a little bit, like games you find on Xbox Live Arcade. You know what? I would take Xbox Live Arcade shovelware over AI slop every day of the week. I can see it. Okay. Yeah, I can see it. I can see this being fun. It might appeal to Rocket League fans. What is that frame rate? So that's pretty stable. It's missing frames here. The models are missing frames in this. Probably network connectivity. I think this is cool AF. I think this is a banger. I think that this is what gaming should be. You have it, you have your focus, and you lean into it, and you make a cool product. I think that there's a lot that could go well here. Obviously, I'd have to see a little more about the game. Am I necessarily going to buy it? Probably not, personally, especially with all the Switch 2 versions, the carts that I'm going to have to buy this year. But I do think that there's something really cool here. And if this is handled correctly, I think this could be an absolute banger.
In Drag and Drive, you'll use both Joy-Con 2 controllers as mice to intuitively pull off various moves. We hope you're looking forward to a new twist on 3-on-3 matches using dual mouse controls.
Real quick, the double-edged sword at this point is that if the Switch 3 or whatever next console happens, this will probably be dated. This will probably not transfer over to the new one because we have Ring Fit Labo, etc., that aren't transferring over to this one, allegedly, right? To the Switch 2. Just know that going in, that you might be on a time limit. And if you want the most use out of that, especially if there's a local co-op mode, make sure you have friends who have this for games preservation purposes.
Next, here are some games from our publishing and development partners coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
Sure, I think it's cool.
I have long observed the lands
No
between.
way.
This world is in dire need of repair.
My God. As somebody who has been binging Dark, dude, Lorien and Lothric on New Game Plus 4 are destroying me right now. It has been so good. You don't understand how good it's been to get back into Souls. I am long overdue for an Elden Ring run. Not necessarily just doing another I'm on New Game Plus 4, 3 or 4 in Elden Ring right now. It's why I haven't finished the DLC. There will be an Elden Ring up on the VOD channel, especially if this is Night Rain. Oh my God, yes. I will probably be prioritizing the PC port, though, if I'm being completely honest. I would like to wait for specs on this one. However, much like Diablo... Is Diablo 2 coming to is it going to be ported up to the Switch 2? I'm assuming it will, because software. I would be super okay with this. This is Elden Ring proper. I would be okay with this if it performs well. I would actually be very okay with Elden Ring on the Switch 2 if the console could handle it. I'm super hyped.
The rays of grace that guide you through your burden. I have no doubt you will become Elden Lord. May you take the throne.
Are we missing some frames in here, though? Look at when he does his attack. It almost feels like I can't tell. I mean, it's probably POV using a camera tool in Engine. One of the devs or someone probably has a camera tool and looking at it. So, I mean, I'm really fine-tooth combing it there. Cutscene seems smooth enough. I wonder if this is at 30.
The rays of grace.
Cutscene, fine.
That guide you through your burden.
The cutscenes are fine, and then we get to here, and then it feels like it doesn't feel quite 60. And this is, I think, is a little bit of slowdown here. Once again, camera tool panning from a dev, right? It almost feels like there's something missing, at least from a 1080 60 standpoint, from when this torrent is being summoned. Yeah, see that little chug? It feels like it's chugging a little bit.
I have no doubt you will become Elden Lord.
The pan up as well.
Take the throne.
If we are looking at, so what would we relate the Switch 1 to? I guess Switch 1 to OLED, right? Would that be PS3 status? If we have effectively a handheld PS4, because let's be real, for some heavy lifting, I have my Steam Deck, right? For Steam-specific games. Realistically, the expectation for Nintendo also charging Primo is going to be that their games are optimized for the Switch 2, right? Reasonably, that's the expectation, especially if you're charging $80, $90 USD. If we're looking at Elden Ring, sure, I have either my gaming PC that I'm currently on, I have my gaming laptop, which literally... Man, I did some 10 out of 10 banger calls working in finance, literally playing Elden Ring. Literally had some best performance stuff in the department, just playing Elden Ring and doing work. It was wild. I loved that job at that period of time. I have things that I can do heavy lifting on. But if this functions, if this is equivocal to a PS4, I would be okay looking into this. I think I would have to have people around me also have this on Switch, because the value proposition for me is, yes, having it on Switch being portable. However, the The thing that is going to prevent me specifically from swapping over is I do have people like on my mod team. I do have people that I can and will play Elden Ring with on PC who will not be getting on Switch. So therefore, I would have to buy into a complete new game, complete new ecosystem, and might not have players to play with. Right? Sure, co-op summons, yes. It's going to be interesting, and I want to see the performance on this before I hit the buy button for the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Elden Ring. However, very, very happy as somebody, as I said, who is getting back into Souls again. I am thoroughly enjoying it. I am enjoying every second of it. I've missed Souls. Switch had hardware from late 2014, so this is going to be a very sizable upgrade at the very least. Not quite PS5 status, not quite PC or gaming laptop status, but I think that we're going to have a lot to look forward to with this. I'm hype. I think it'll get a lot more people into it too.
Hey, I'm Greg Kasavin from Supergiant Games, here to say that Hades 2 is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Our first ever sequel introduces the Princess of the Dead, an immortal witch out to vanquish the sinister Titan of Time. You'll battle beyond the underworld to the ends of the earth, getting to know dozens of characters from Greek myth in a story that reacts to your every setback and victory. It's the kind of game you can quickly pick up and play whether you're experienced with the original or not. Look for more about Hades 2 later this year.
Personally, I haven't played it. Oh, are we getting Resident Evil? Personally, I haven't played Hades 1 or Hades 2. I have heard that Hades is a very good game, Hades 1 and 2. I would be definitely into trying it at some point. However, once again, value proposition on PC/Steam Deck versus Switch 2, right? I think that there's that for me. I've heard good things about it. I don't really have anything to really add to that. So this is either going to be Resident Evil or Monster Hunter. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't.
皆さんこんにちは。カプコンの中山です。我々がお届けするタイトルはストリートファイター6です。
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
本体を持ち寄っての対戦はもちろん、任天堂スイッチ2だけの新モードもあります。ソフトは通常版の他に総勢26キャラクターを収録した Years 1-2 Fighters Edition の2バージョンを、さらにゲームと連動するアミーボとアミーボカードも一緒にスイッチ2の発売日にお届けします。
So this does imply that the Amiibo tech is still going to be one of the Joy-Cons potentially. Which is, yeah, that's that. They're still going ham on the Amiibo thing. I mean, it makes sense. It's also a collectible. It's something that they can pop out. Interesting. Yeah, no, it makes sense. I like that they're expanding a line of Amiibos as well. I think that the Switch was really missing a good fighting game. Yes, we have like Pokken, right? We have Pokken Tournament. I think that's still fairly niche. I would have to have somebody from the fighting game communities really chime in on that. I feel like Pokken is still pretty niche. I think it's interesting. I think this is interesting to look at, and I think that the Switch really needed a good fighting game.
楽しみに。
Initiating Arsenal boot sequence. Weapon safety mechanism confirmed.
Armored core?
All operating at normal levels.
No, what is
Testing
this?
data link with spine. Normal. Commencing launch.
What
After
is
two
this?
long wars where our freedom was restricted, we will finally be liberated from humans.
I'm in need of a new arsenal, new equipment, and money.
Arsenal.
I'm for sale, and you're buying.
Rebels!
Thanks for the warm welcome! This planet will be...
Yikes.
Thanks for the warm welcome!
Look at there's some chop here. I don't know what this is. Look at when they're flying to you. It doesn't feel fluid.
This planet will be ours.
The Sovereign Axiom, the Trinitas, has almost completed a weapon that was created to destroy all humanity.
No! Because we're in the middle of a war. Don't you get it?
I won't just stop you. I'll tear you apart!
All children, bring hope
Daemon X
to our
Machina.
lives.
Haven't we had old Daemon X Machina games? How long has it been since we've had this? I've never played them. The name is familiar. That was definitely super choppy. Like, okay, so I wasn't the only one that saw that. That could be addressed, especially in a post-launch patch. But that did look a little choppy. I will have to point that out.
Don't they?
I feel, yeah, I'd be interested.
Hey, this is Joseph Forrest from Hazelight. I'm super excited for Split Fiction to come to Nintendo Switch 2.
Okay.
The game is a story about friendship. You play as Mio, who writes sci-fi, and Zoe, who writes fantasy. Together, they get trapped in their own stories, and it's up to you and a friend to help them break free. Now, let me tell you this, if you like It Takes Two, you're gonna love this one, trust me. And of course, you'll be able to play Split Fiction on the day Switch 2 launches.
Okay. Unironically, was literally talking about this last night. Rev and I were in chat and we were talking about games that I guess allegedly Split Fiction. You're able to buy one copy and share it with another. This lines up perfectly, actually. I think that's actually really cool. Would be something I'd be willing to try, 100%. EA Sports, respectfully, I do have to pass on this title. I don't even know what this title is. I don't know if it's going to be Madden. I don't know. I do have to pass. Unfortunately, just because it is strictly from EA Sports. I love Angry Joe's videos every year. I love Angry Joe's Madden video every year. It brings me a smile to hear that man just absolutely lose it for about an hour over the state of Madden. Football fans, American football fans, I feel sorry for you. Like you genuinely deserve better than what EA has given you with Madden.
EA Sports.
No, it is not FIFA. As far as I'm aware, EA did not renew the contract for FIFA, so FIFA is no longer with EA.
We're bringing fans together across the world, both on the pitch and on the gridiron. We're excited to announce that EA Sports FC will be coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Madden NFL will also be arriving on the Nintendo platform. EA Sports, it's in the game.
They said it. They said the funny. I want Angry Joe to review the Switch copy specifically, please. I feel like that would be magical. That would be a magical 1 hour video. That would be a wonderful angry rant.
Hi, I'm Alan Tu from Avalanche Software. We are bringing Hogwarts Legacy to Nintendo Switch 2.
Interesting.
With enhanced graphics and seamless world transitions, you'll be immersed in the Wizarding world like never before. And the new mouse controls on Switch 2 give you even more ways to experience the adventure. Discover the enhanced magic when Hogwarts Legacy launches on the same day as Switch 2.
I forgot that the fat lady would be a thing. Oh my god. Right. Because I played Slytherin. Right. Oh my god. So that's actually what, because I bring it up a few times in some reactions. As playing Hogwarts Legacy in any capacity is unfortunately a very hot button topic. I make sure to disclose it that way people understand. Like, I have played the game. I have personally dismissed criticisms with the game, very specifically when it comes to Ranrock. Obviously, one of the big criticisms asking, okay, what is a criticism with this? What is it that does not sell it for you? Okay, well, you're engaging goblin oppression, right? Okay, sure. Literally first 10 minutes. Okay, yeah, that literal goblin. Yeah, so Ranrock. Yes, we as goblins want equality with wizard kind, absolutely. But that Ranrock guy is kind of going about it the wrong way. He's a little bit of an extremist. He's not representative of all goblins. Cool. That criticism has, in 10 minutes of playing the game, been debunked. There's a lot of controversy regarding it. And I always make sure that, like, I don't mention it to start fights. I mention it as a full disclosure because there are creators and there are people out there who do not support this game, I don't support Rowling. I have my own issues with her. I think she can't write her way out of a paper bag at this point in time from the synopsis of The Cursed Child that I watched. Oh god, it was actually awful. But I make sure I bring it up every now and again. Once again, as I said, not necessarily to start confrontation, to not necessarily start fights or pick fights, but to say, hi, I have played this. I know that is a disqualifying factor for some people. Do with that as you will. Make your own educated opinion as an adult. And as well as I went into this with claim XYZ and have been able to debunk every one of them personally. So, yeah, I have to do the obligatory segue, because it is a very hot button topic and has been for a couple years at this point. Personally, I did enjoy my playthrough of it. I thought there was a wonderfully diverse cast of characters. Every Hogwarts possessor was from a different nationality. I loved that. Three Broomsticks proprietress, clearly a trans individual. Thought it was cool. Loved it. Goblin representation in regards to that Ranrock guy is pretty extreme. He's not representative of us. I thought a lot of the right pieces were there. I thought it was neat. Thought it was a good game. I can't wait for this alleged 2 that might come out.
supposed to be on! Son of a...
Really? Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I'm sorry, they actually hit me with the SpongeBob transition? Wow. Okay. Yeah, wow, I was not expecting that, but that is... What's the Palpatine line? A surprise, but a welcome one to be sure.
Hello, this is Christian Elverdam from IO Interactive. We are bringing our flagship title, Hitman
Manhunt?
World of
Or
Assassination, to Nintendo Switch 2.
Hitman, not Manhunt. Different games. I don't remember Manhunt specifically. Different games entirely.
As the best assassin in the trade, Agent 47 does everything he can to accomplish his mission. And how each mission progresses will vary depending on the player's imagination. Our ever-expanding game will release on the same day as the Switch 2. Plus, we are excited to bring another familiar agent to the platform.
Okay. I've never played this. No way! Yep.
James Bond. The world's favorite spy is coming to Nintendo Switch 2, so stay tuned.
So, what is it? Was it an old JonTron video? It was an old video I was watching. Maybe it was, I don't know if it was sequelitis. I don't remember what it was. Talking about, no, it was a Donkey video. It was a video game Donkey video talking about it. Talking about how GoldenEye 007, especially if you had, the PC port of it, quote unquote, perfect, fantastic, flawless, especially if things are rendering incorrectly and stuff, right? And then Call of Duty, obviously taking inspiration from first-person shooter titles like GoldenEye 007, only for James Bond game on 360, only for that to be kind of this weird Call of Duty clone. That's kind of a special slap in the face. If I think right now, especially because what I'm hearing from people, allegedly Warzone, Call of Duty in general, is not in a good state. Obviously, it's going to have its yearly players. I think that financially it's going to be fine. Allegedly, from what I'm hearing, Warzone is planning on being shut down. And months down the line, you can date the VOD, right? I think that right now, if you can come out with something like a Titanfall 3, if you can come out with a 007 that is able to capitalize on the first-person shooter market, I think right now you are in a very spicy spot, because the giant, the Titan is floundering right now. We have Battlefield with coming out with potentially their new entry soonish, right? But if it's another flaw, the first person shooter market right now is primed for a smash hit. And I honestly do want something like 007 to do that. I want 007 to outsell Call of Duty. I think that would be an absolute chef's kiss. Oh, what is this?
The story of light and shadow that never fades is reborn.
Crystal Chronicles?
Bravely Default returns, remastered in high definition. Featuring the Brave and Default commands that help you control the flow of turn-based battles. Change and customize jobs to build out your very own party. Enjoy your adventure with upgraded features and enhancements. And all new minigames with unique ways to play. Square Enix presents the classic fantasy RPG, Bravely Default Flying Fairy HD Remaster. Set foot in Luxembourg as a warrior of light once more.
I've never played Bravely Default. I could be heckled into playing this. What's the new Square Enix launch? It's the new quote unquote Final Fantasy something Phantasmo. I did buy that. I've been itching and streaming that. That sounds like that is going to be a wild game to play. I do own that. This does remind me of, and I know it's from Final Fantasy, right? This reminds me of Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, the fanfic, quote unquote, third party RPG. That one, I think it's Neo Fantasia, something like that. I bought that. I think that I could use a very good turn-based game right about now. The reason I have Fantasia Neo Dimension, thank you, that one. Yeah, I bought that one. I feel like I'm in the mood. The reason I haven't done like Lord of the Rings: The Third Age is because it's grindy for certain parts for like the skills and stuff. But I don't have it strictly. I haven't streamed it because it actually uses the like Lord of the Rings soundtrack, and that is primed for like copyright. Especially, I was surprised Doki Bird played Battle for Middle Earth. I would absolutely play that on stream if I was not terrified of the copyright.
セガ龍が如くスタジオ代表の横山です。我々がお送りするタイトルは龍が如くゼロ期待の場所ディレクターズカットです。
Is this the one with Nugget the chicken from the Maxor video? Is this the one with the chicken?
1988年東京と大阪2つの歓楽街を舞台に土地をめぐる争奪戦が勃発。伝説の始まりを追加シーンとともにお楽しみください。発売日は Nintendo Switch 2の発売と同じ日です。今後のシリーズ展開にもぜひご期待ください。
Wow.
We'll have more games to show from our publishing and development partners, but for now, we'd like to show a game being developed in collaboration with Nintendo. Please take a look.
Okay. Koei Temco? What is this? AAA games, okay. What?
When the Zonai, who descended from the heavens, joined hands with the Hylians, who dwelled on the surface, their union led to a great and prosperous kingdom. But in time, a terrible evil arose. A war was fought to vanquish this evil, one which future generations would call the Imprisoning War.
Perhaps you truly have traveled back in time.
This doesn't feel like Hyrule Warriors, though. It could be. That's where my brain immediately went, because we had Age of Calamity. What is this?
So that's Hyrule Castle? Then that must mean this
it's
really
the prequel.
is the past.
Okay, it's Hyrule Warriors. Yeah, now here we are. Is that a trace icon? Are you having to trace this with your like Joy-Con? Age of Imprisonment. So we have Calamity into Imprisonment. This is interesting. This is interesting. As someone who's a huge Zelda, like I still watch the occasional Zelda video because, oh my God, we know so little about Ikana Kingdom. We know so little about Ikana. We know so little about Termina. And obviously that's just Majora's Mask, right? But we know so little about, what is it, Snow Peak Ruins and Twilight Princess. We have bits and pieces of, we're able to kind of like, theory craft that there were experiments happening on there. And that's why the suit of armors were large. Like, dude, I actually really love Zelda. I really do. Majora's Mask specifically because it revolves around the mask theme, right? Oh my God, I love it. I would be very, very interested in this as a title, 100%. I will say as a quick aside, It's no Gundam Dynasty Warriors, which I do and I do very much miss. I loved Gundam Dynasty Warriors 3. I will be playing it on stream once I can figure out how to fix my Xbox 360, because as soon as I unplugged the storefront, for some reason I'm having trouble signing in, even with my my key, quote unquote, that you have in your Xbox profile, because the password digits that you had on the 360 were lesser than the ones on the Xbox One. Like your Microsoft account has there's a discrepancy between character lengths, so you have this little pass key, but it's been not working and it's been really frustrating. But I would absolutely love to stream Gundam Dynasty Warriors. I miss Gundam Dynasty Warriors. I'm so sad we haven't had another one in a hot minute, but I think that this is one of those I would absolutely play, especially, fine-tuned and stuff from the original Hyrule Warriors.
That was Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. It's being developed by Koei Tecmo Games with support from Nintendo.
Right.
We hope you're looking forward to the untold story of the Imprisoning War, which took place in Hyrule long ago.
And now, some news about Nintendo Switch Online.
Okay.
You can continue.
All right, Nintendo Switch Online, here we go. How much more am I paying per year?
Continue to enjoy Nintendo Switch Online on Switch 2. And with Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, you can enjoy a new membership benefit exclusively on Switch 2.
Okay.
Please take a look at this.
I'm going to need a minute on that one. So yeah, I have my Japanese Char Aznable, like his actual like red Zaku GameCube over there. I got it locally. It's awesome. GameCube was what I grew up on. Yeah, and 64 to a degree, but like GameCube was what I grew up on. Oh no. What do we
Nintendo
have?
Switch Online Plus expansion pack will be getting a new classic game library exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo GameCube, originally released in 2001. Here are the titles that will be available at launch.
Are we getting Animal Crossing game? Oh no. Oh. You had to hit me with that Wind Waker. Oh, I'm so overdue for a playthrough. I want to go through it so bad. Wave of emotions. Oh my god, yes. I have my Wii U over there so I can go through HD. This is going to not be HD though. This will be the original. This will be the GameCube port. Oh my god. I have emotions now.
A Legend of Zelda game that looks like a cartoon come to life through cell shading. Controlling the wind using a mysterious baton, Link sets sail on an adventure across the Great Sea.
Since this is going to more than likely be the original GameCube, expect people to complain about the original Triforce Chart Quest.
The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker. Transcending history and the world. A tale of souls and swords eternally retold.
Okay.
In this 3D, weapons-based fighting game, each fighter comes equipped with a different weapon. And Link from the Legend of Zelda series enters the fray.
I was about to say, isn't this Soul Calibur... Was this 1 or 2? This is 2, right? Yeah, this is the one with Link in it. Yeah. It's Link. Let's be real, right? I also like that they've stuck this out, right? Especially because of how much people would love to own the games. The fact that they've still continued from GBA to 64, now to GameCube. I like that they've kept along with the service. Yes, don't get me wrong, it would be nice if Nintendo would actually sell these games in the modern market instead of just this is tied to your service, right? Kind of like whatever the Xbox thing is, right? Because it's no longer Xbox Live membership. It's tied in with whatever their thing is. I don't remember what it's called. Yeah, you would like to own it, and this is really a good. This is such a good way to get people into it. Yeah, Games Pass, thank you. Because you're not spending inflated value for original Wind Waker, especially if there's original Twilight Princess, right? You're not spending inflated value to buy retro hardware or retro games. For them to potentially not work, you just have to pay a subscription fee and you get to experience this. As much as I love physical media, right? And as much as I've spent on physical media in the past, in 2024, getting official Pokemon games and stuff, getting actual authentic carts and stuff, this is a good way for people to have the same experiences as I did. This is I think is the best reasonable compromise we can have from Nintendo. And if this just having a Games Pass like service to have someone be able to play games like this, I think that I'm okay with that. I am okay as a boomer at this point, being able to purchase my own carts and know what I want to purchase. But if somebody's not sure if they're gonna like Soul, if someone's not gonna know if they like the Wind Waker, I would much rather them have the ability to play it. I would much rather than be able to experience Wind Waker organically and have the same experience that I was afforded as a kid.
Soul Calibur 2. Experience a world of white knuckle racing at speeds over 2,000 kilometers per hour.
The IP Nintendo forgets about.
30 machines will put it all on the line in death-defying races. Featuring the series' first machine customization and story mode, get ready to experience F-Zero GX.
I've never played it.
Games that support multiplayer, up to 4 can play together locally or online.
Right.
Enjoy these classic games with clearer image quality and higher resolution than the original releases.
I literally see a medley and I can't, and my brain immediately defaults to "but Peanut Butter Gamer." Wow, that pulled from the depths of my brain.
You can also check the controls for each title and customize them to your liking.
Ooh, that's hot.
More titles will be added in the future.
Oh, so we do also have the Mario 3D pack. Oh, I'm actually having to take the glasses off at this point to like rub my. Oh my god! Look, it's not a Mario All-Star whatever emulators in a bundle that you can buy. Oh my god, though, this is such a win to have XD Gale of Darkness. This is such a win to have XD Gale of Darkness for me, so people can actually experience this. I own my English and Japanese copies of Coliseum and XD. I have spent money on those. It is not fair to expect everybody and anybody to pay those prices. If it takes an official Nintendo Online, Nintendo Classics emulation of this, sure, you're going to be missing features like Stadium is missing features. I understand that. And there are certain limitations in which they have to work through. I understand that. I am without words. This is truly amazing to me. Luigi's Mansion 1, Chibi Robo, Coliseum 2. The hardest official Pokemon game, in my opinion, Coliseum, especially because now you can't. Now, if you're the missing features is actually a benefit. Hear me out, because you cannot transfer Pokemon into it from, say, Pokemon Fire Red, Leaf Green, Ruby Sapphire, Emerald. You cannot transfer Sailor or Quasar. You are stuck with only the Pokemon within Coliseum. This is magical to me. Oh my god, a lot of people are about to absolutely just be like, this is just the Dark Souls of Pokemon. Oh my god.
Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classics,
sure.
The Switch 2 exclusive game library coming to Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack launches the same day as the hardware's release.
This feels like you're not paying extra. It sounds like you're just paying for Plus, and I think that bundling it in with if people are already playing Plus, I think that is a baller move.
And a dedicated controller designed after the original GameCube controller will also be released.
USB-C, I'm assuming.
It can connect wirelessly and also has a C button to quickly access game chat.
This is so surreal seeing this. You have to remember, chat, I feel like Pokemon Fire Red came out 2 years ago. That came out in like 2005. Like, this feels like I never left this. This is so surreal to me.
The Nintendo GameCube controller, exclusively available for Nintendo Switch Online members, will also be available the same day as Nintendo Switch 2.
Expect these to be scalped and out of stock, because people are going to buy these for emulators.
Whether you're familiar with the games or haven't played them before, we hope you're looking forward to Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classics.
That's a win. That's a win.
Of course, you can continue to play select games from the systems shown here on Nintendo Switch 2.
So, you know what we did have, and I was surprised they had it on the Wii U? Did you know that Animal Crossing Wild World was on the eShop for the Nintendo Wii U? The DS Animal Crossing game, right? It would not surprise me if we eventually got Dubutsu no Mori, right? Animal Crossing proper in this. It would not surprise me. And I'm actually, especially if they move to the DS, it was so weird. It was one of those I looked at. I mean, to be fair, we had like Pokemon Ranger and stuff on the Wii U, right? Too, right? It would not surprise me if we would see older Animal Crossing come into it. Once again, obviously, unfortunately, there is going to be a lack of features, right? There's going to be a lack of importing Pokemon in and out. That leads to interesting scenarios with Pokemon Stadium. That's going to lead to interesting issues with Coliseum and XD. I understand that there's going to be features missing. However, I think that this is going to be one of those that I actually wonder if Switch consoles can connect to each other and do just versus battles via XD. I would imagine not, since it's just going to be the emulation of the game without connectivity. I would assume. This is a win for Nintendo, and this is a win for people who have been begging to be able to play these games.
Okay, let's see some more games from our publishing and development partners.
I'm excited. I'm happy. What? What is this? What's happening? Don't you look at me like that. Wait, what? Oh, Deltarune. I still haven't played Undertale. Wow. So lost. I have zero idea what's happening. To be fair, I also haven't played Undertale.
Hi, I'm Randy from Gearbox. Borderlands.
Is that who I think that was? No.
Hi, I'm Randy from Gearbox.
Oh, Randy Pitchford. Is this the same Randy Pitchford that allegedly had a USB drive? I distinctly remember a Jimquisition by Jim Sterling about a certain Randy Pitchford, and unfortunately that sours the reveal for me. Okay, just making sure we have the same Randy Pitchford that we're talking about. Just making sure we have the same person.
Borderlands 4, our upcoming flagship Borderlands game, will launch on Nintendo Switch 2.
What?
Borderlands is back. Loot and shoot your way through a world filled with wild enemies and outrageous weapons. We're still in development, and it's already the most ambitious Borderlands game we've ever made. Borderlands 4 will launch in 2025. We'll be sharing a lot of the game in the months ahead, and there's more from 2K on the way.
Hi.
Hold up. Hear me out. This actually makes a lot of sense. So what was going on with the 50 series card? The 50 series cards? What was it? Something with the 50 series cards was causing issues with games like Borderlands and I think it's their cell shading. There's something texture-wise that the 50 series cards completely just forwent, right? At least that's what I've heard. I'm going to put an allegedly there. If we have companies like NVIDIA releasing the 50 series cards allegedly without the ability to handle games like Borderlands, moving to the Switch feels like the necessary extension. I feel like we're getting into conspiracy theory territory. I think we're getting into conversations, discussions that happen behind the scenes that may or may not happen and would most likely be under NDAs. But it would make sense if it depends. I'm assuming it's going to be available on PC. But Borderlands has a very distinct style. And if the 50 series cards, the GPUs, are having issues running those now because of foregoing certain things, this to me makes sense to move it to the Switch.
I'm Dennis Shirk from Firaxis Games.
we're releasing a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Sid Meier's Civilization 7.
Interesting.
In Civ 7, you'll establish an empire and guide your people throughout the ages of history. With the new mouse controls, players can enjoy a more intuitive gameplay experience. Civ 7 launches on the same day as Switch 2. And if you already own the Nintendo Switch version, you can experience mouse controls on Switch 2 by purchasing the upgrade.
Right. Everyone keeps talking about purchasing the upgrade, but how much is the upgrade? What are we talking about? I think $9.99 is going to be fair. If we're expecting $20 or $30, I think that it's just going to be better to just buy the new game at that point. I want to know. It's probably going to be at the end of this direct.
We have even more news from 2K.
Hi, I'm Lionel Jinks.
And I'm Ben Bishop.
Our final announcement for today is that WWE 2K is coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
Plus NBA 2K as well.
We can't wait to see you in the ring.
And on the court.
Is that Sorry, I totally missed it. That's WWE, right?
Is that WWE 2K?
Does that mean that Logan Paul is going to be in the game?
Okay, it's coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
Plus NBA 2K as well.
We can't wait to see you in the ring.
And on the court.
Does this mean we're going to have Logan Paul on the game? And does that mean that everyone is just going to absolutely just like slam dunk this man in game?
4 kids find this old tattered man. Off they went armed with nothing but youthful enthusiasm and a profound lack of preparation. Boom! Terrible at steering a raft. Let's slay some trees. Awesome! You nailed it! Hook, line and sinker. Tastes amazing, doesn't it? Really have started to master this survival thing. Next stop, the top. Ha! Nicely done. Well, I think that's everything. Let's set sail. This time, for home.
I think this could be a very fun game for a lot of people. I think that there's a charm to it. Am I necessarily the target demographic? No. Can I appreciate this for, maybe kids who would be the primary demographic? Yeah. I can absolutely appreciate that. I think some people are going to have an amazing time with that.
Hi, I'm Dave Crooks from Dodge Roll.
What is this?
Here's the first look at Enter the Gungeon 2. Dodge countless bullets and aim for the Gungeon's depths in our roguelike shooter sequel. Now reloaded in a new 3D art style.
Okay.
And you can expect some fan-favorite elements to return. We're still working on the game, and we're excited to share more with you in the future.
So chat did chime in to say that they never reveal the upgrade pack price, which is actually interesting because I feel that is a very, very big glaring omission on that one. Interesting. The stream froze on the part with survival kits. That's interesting. I'm glad I didn't watch it. I'm glad that I didn't get sleep. I'm actually up way too late. Up way too late for this. But yeah, I think that we're gonna need to see more details on that. What is this? Carrot dude. Okay. Amazing. Devolver Digital. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on that one. So I feel on one hand, it depends if it's going to be a complete game or a live service. I feel that's one of those that it will probably have a core experience and then receive updates and DLC down the line. I see that people could potentially get to endgame really quick, potentially not like the end of the gameplay. I'm making wild speculations on no information, by the way. Like, I'm trying to put myself into playing something like that. I feel like I would burn out pretty quickly. I feel like that has a cool premise though. I want that to succeed, especially when we have games like No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous that a lot of people still like to play. Elite Dangerous right now is having issues with both colony sim, the colony aspect of it, the colonization update, and is also having issues with Buddy was doing power play today, and they just keep disabling stuff. And that's also after having just an influx of players that caused massive server issues. Like trying to do the finale of the Thargoid War, because I got in with the last two, right? I got in with the last two Titans. It was very testing for my patience to have such consistent crashes and just the servers tanking that bad. I think people could, especially with the disappointment that Starfield was for a lot of people, I think a good space exploration game, especially with friends, I think there could be a really good market for that.
Hello, my name is Adam Badowski from CD Projekt Red. We are delighted to bring the immersive world of the dark future to Nintendo players for the first time. Cyberpunk 2077 is an open-world action-adventure RPG set in Night City. Thanks to Nintendo Switch 2, you can transport yourself to the city of dreams at home or on the go. Get ready to meet unforgettable characters and discover engaging stories when Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition comes to Nintendo Switch 2 on launch day.
I don't know. Personally, I personally still haven't gotten over Cyberpunk's launch. I do know that on many people's authority, very good faith arguments and very people's whose opinions I trust, they did say the game got better. That CD Projekt Red did have their redemption arc. I personally still haven't purchased Cyberpunk because that launch was disastrous in certain aspects. So let's see. Right, and even chat's saying it's a good game now, right? I personally still have an aversion to CD Projekt Red. I need to see a little more personally before I decide to trust the brand again. That being said, if it does work and it is a banger on the Switch, I think that could be good. If it is a bad launch on the Switch, though, that becomes a problem. I'm going to wish them the best. I'm going to wish them an amazing Switch launch, but they cannot have a bad launch with that. There is a lot riding on it, in my opinion. And it would not surprise me if it came up in a meeting in regards to there being a lot riding on a good launch this time.
こんにちは。スクエアエニックスの浜口です。
Final Fantasy 14? No, it's just 7.
任天堂スイッチ2でファイナルファンタジー7リメイクインターグレードを発売いたします。本作はミッドガル脱出までを描いた3部作シリーズの1作目となり、20年以上の時を経て再創作された新しい FF7 を体験いただきます。スイッチ2で展開する FF7 リメイクシリーズにぜひご期待ください。
I actually really enjoyed Crisis Core because I played Crisis Core Reunion. I never actually had the opportunity to play through Crisis Core on the PSP. I very much enjoyed Reunion, although I do prefer the voice acting of the original. I have not delved into the Final Fantasy VII remakes. Yes, I have played the original. I have played the original Final Fantasy VII. I want to play through it again before giving the remakes a shot. I've seen the memes. I've seen the Honeybee Inn and stuff. I've seen the memes from 7. I'm very cautious. I hear that Zach Fair potentially is back, and I'm very cautious on that because anything that would invalidate the premise of honor and sacrifice, the themes of Crisis Core, would sit very wrong in my mouth. Like it would leave a very bad taste in my mouth. Crisis Core is definitely one of my favorite games of all time. I think that it definitely does some very broad strokes commentary, very philosophical in a lot of ways, even especially with Loveless being core to the core to the thing itself, right? Genesis sprouts it how many times throughout the game. Infinite mysteries gift to the goddess. We seek it thus and take the sky. Ripples form on the water surface. The wandering soul knows no rest. There's exactly. Yes, I am that weeb. Yes, I have quoted the entirety of Loveless on stream. Don't at me. I'd be interested to try it, but I don't think the value proposition is quite there on Switch for me. I would try it on PC. I would be open to streaming it. I'm very hesitant because I know it's taking the series in a different direction. But if it's going to invalidate Crisis Core, that's a solid pass from me. Hollow Knight Silksong got relegated to an honorable mention at the end. Yes! More legally distinct Harvest Moon. No. Okay. A lot of people are looking forward to Witchbrook. What is that? I feel like that's actually a very accurate circle. Tetris, yeah, makes sense. Rune Factory, okay. Especially with Marvel Rivals coming out so soon. Oh my god, yes. Ubisoft, please do not gunk that up on Switch. Ubisoft, please don't. Criminal Exhibition, okay. Fast Fusion. Okay. Look, it had to launch with Fortnite, let's be real. That's cool. Professor Layton, I know. Oh, ooh, Miko's gonna be really happy about that. I think she really loves Layton. Tamagotchi, yes! Okay, there's a lineup. They're going hard on this one. They are really pulling out all the stops, in my opinion.
We've shown a lot of games so far. The next game will be the last from our publishing and development partners. Please take a look.
Is that Leon? Who is that? Not Leon S. Kennedy. What is this?
I give you my blood.
What? Wait. There's no way this is Bloodborne. There's no way.
I give you my life. Turn, O wheel, and transport him to a night of moonlight, to humanity's very dusk.
What is this? Bruh, okay. Hi, you're a thing. I love him. A lot of NPCs, I would assume. Uh-huh. That's a summon?
Close your eyes and contemplate now the moon, as befits the soon to depart.
I pray that you are able, carrier of blood.
Yeah.
The moon tears will flow for one, and one alone.
The Duskbloods. Is this going to be like Night Rain for Bloodborne? What is this? Rat called from Dark Souls 2 remake confirmed. We have Rat. Very uncanny. Available only on Nintendo Switch 2. If that is an exclusive and it's Souls-like, I would buy it. It's legally distinct Bloodborne. We couldn't get Sony to okay the remake or port of Bloodborne, so we just did a little to the left. Yeah. You know what? I would financially support that decision. I would buy that.
What you just saw was a brand new game by From Software. We'll be publishing a creator's voice article where the game's director, Hidetaka Miyazaki, will share more details about the game, so please check it out when it's available.
Sony, I wonder what Sony's legal team is doing right about now, actually. Especially because there is the whole Nintendo and Pokemon V-Power world. I wonder what Sony's doing right now legally. That would be interesting. I would love to be a fly on that wall. I also, so streaming Dark Souls 3 and 1 recently, people were saying Miyazaki would actually be okay with an actual successor to Dark Souls 3. Because Dark Souls 3, I guess, wasn't supposed to be the end, but as far as like, this is the last game about cycles. Just interesting. Miyazaki's mind fascinates me.
That's all from our publishing and development partners. We'd like to thank the developers who appeared today, as well as our publishing and development partners who prepared footage for this presentation. In addition to what you saw today, our partners are working on many games coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
Right.
We'll showcase more games in the future, so we hope you're looking forward to it. Next, please take a look at this.
What do we have? What's the finale? These are going to be strong. What is this? Kirby? This has to be Kirby. Okay. This isn't a new Smash Bros, is it? No way. Okay. Kirby Racing? Wait, what? Okay. Open world Kirby. No way! No way we have a new Kirby Air Ride. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, it's been a minute, hasn't it? Was the last one on Masaru Sakurai? Oh my god. Was the last one on GameCube or Wii?
Kirby Air Ride, which originally released on the Nintendo GameCube system over 20 years ago, is getting a brand new game.
Wow.
We hope you're looking forward to Kirby Air Riders, directed by Masahiro Sakurai.
Bold move.
Next is our last trailer for today.
Before we get into the last one, bold to have two big kart racers coming out. A kart, quote unquote, racing games, right? Just racing games. Which actually makes me surprised because, like, Why haven't we seen a Lego Racer yet? Why haven't we seen a Lego Racer successor? That's kind of odd to me. As somebody who has an N64 copy still, like I had to get it a couple of years ago because I'm like, I need to play this game on stream. It is wild. Well, yeah, they're really going. There's 2. Oh, we have had one. I totally missed a remake then, or I totally missed another Lego Racer 2K Drive. I totally missed that then. Okay. Yeah, this is very interesting that there's 2 big kart racing titles coming out this year. Interesting.
Please take a look.
They're really front-loading this. What is that? Is this Pikmin? New Mario? DK! Oh no! Oh my! Okay. Wow. The music, though. Wow. Ooh, banana. Is that a throwback to DK rap? Cool. I would be very interested in that. Is this isn't DK himself, right? Which Kong is this? Or is this just new gen Donkey Kong? I think that being the finale. I'm not used to the new DK design, is why I had to ask. I thought I would make sure it's not like Lanky Kong or something else. It's just a new design. Yeah, so I was just missing that. Thanks for the clarification on that. That is saving that to the end, that and Kirby was the correct choice here, in my opinion. I think backloading that was absolutely the correct. So it's based on his original. I'm used to his 64 appearance, and his Smash Bros. Appearance is why it just kind of threw me off. I like it, though. The environment destruction, I'm going to say, is what Battlefield fans want from Battlefield. They want that level of destruction in the environment. And you're getting that from a DK game. I would be interested in this. I would definitely be interested in playing this.
That was a brand new 3D platforming action game starring Donkey Kong, called Donkey Kong Bonanza. With incredible strength, smash through enemies, walls, the ground, and just about everything as you demolish your way through a massive underground world. More details will be shared in the future. We hope you're looking forward to it.
Yeah?
Thank you for watching so far.
To recap, Nintendo Switch 2 launches on June 5th. Finally, here are the hardware options that will be available at launch.
Okay.
We'll release Nintendo Switch 2, as well as a bundle that includes a digital version of Mario Kart World.
Pass on the digital.
For more details, please check the official Nintendo Switch 2 website, which goes live later today.
What's the price point?
We've covered a lot of information, but that's all we have to share for today.
Right, it makes sense.
You'll have to wait just a bit longer for launch. We are very much looking forward to everyone being able to experience Nintendo Switch 2.
We appreciate you joining us today. Thank you very much.
That was a banger presentation. I don't know how I made this 2 hours. I am so sorry, everybody. I am so sorry that I made this a 2-hour presentation or 2-hour reaction. I feel like... Recapping now. I like the recap. That was actually a really good recap. So that will be, what, April 3rd through 4th? So I'll be looking forward to that as well. Oh my God, there was a lot that just happened in this one. And there's a lot. So the pre-order site is already crashing. Yeah, I would assume so. I personally am fine foregoing the digital download edition. If it was like, if it had, I don't know, something like, you know, like the special Joy-Cons and stuff that the Breath of the Wild OLED did, sure, maybe I'd be interested. Not necessarily something I'm super interested in personally. $450 is going to hurt for a lot of people. However, I would honestly go out and say, if these specs are able to support things, and we're looking at PS4 level hardware, I think I can justify it personally. Yeah, I'm also in a situation that's, I understand, like the console price point is going to hurt, right? It is still less than a PS5. It is still less than, I think, an Xbox at this point. It is trying to compete with those, and you are getting a lot of good first-party games. Mario Kart World Pack is an extra 70. Yeah, 100%. I think it's interesting. This was an interesting presents. I think that they're really banking on the launch of this thing. This does need to be a successful launch. If this launch is scuffed in any way, this could prove disastrous. However, this reads to me that they are willing to pack so much of this into a presents. They're willing to have things like Dust Bloods, willing to have Kirby Air Ride, willing to have new DK, Mario Odyssey for DK, like chat's saying, absolutely. Showcase the upgrade point packs and stuff like that. I will say I do take a little bit of issue with the upgrade packs not being mentioned. I will say that, like, they're mentioned, but the price point isn't mentioned. I do think that that's a little off to me. I understand not disclosing it, and they did also reference the page as well. I think from a business standpoint, it mostly just generates traffic to go to there, so that you're able to see the price point. If we're looking at a $30 upgrade, I personally will just buy new carts. I will spend the extras to buy new physical carts, especially for games that I don't have physical carts of yet. I have the digital download, game preservation, all that fun stuff. New Mario Kart as well. Yep. No, they loaded this with a lot. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going. I like some of the functionality, right? The sharing functionality, the social functionality being kind of Discord Lite. As I said, I do worry about performance. I do worry about, especially if you're doing streaming on this, if this can even support streaming, right? Not necessarily just like streaming like to friends in that quote unquote like voice chat kind of thing. But like actual, like if you're able to stream to Twitch and stuff with this, I do worry about processing. I do worry about load. I do worry about like actual like data load. Do worry about battery life. I have some concerns. However, if those concerns are resolved, is what the word I'm going to use. If those concerns are put to rest, I think there's a banger console here. But I will be buying this. I will be buying this at some point personally. I'll make sure to set aside enough that I can do this. And then I feel like the way that they're marketing this is that they're willing to, this is their flagship. They finally they're moving away from the Switch, at least for the most part. The Switch 2 is going to be the new platform going forward. And it really feels like they're trying to go hard into making it kind of like this PC like ecosystem with like voice chat, video sharing, sharing games with each other on games that are eligible for that. We do have, because I mean they're asking a lot, right? The new carts, the only certain micro SDs are going to work. You have to have that keyword, right? That specific type of it, micro SD. Upgrading bundles, right? That's a very bold move personally. Linking the Zelda app, which also opens up other things that the Zelda app is successful. We can have maybe Pokemon apps and stuff. Maybe that can be a foreshadow into Pokemon and Pokemon Champion kind of linking with each other. I was assuming it was going to all done through home, but we could see something like that. A lot of indie game support, some bangers like 007 that weren't quite revealed yet. Being able to have Nintendo Switch Online already have GameCube bundled in with some banger hits like Chibi Robo. A lot of people have Chibi Robo, never played it personally. A lot of people love it. F-Zero, their forgotten IP for all intents and purposes. Soul Calibur, once again, more fighting games, more variety. Wind Waker, I know is going to be. I didn't see Twilight Princess. That could be in a future update, though, potentially. That controller, I do expect the Nintendo GameCube controller, because that does seem like it is going to connect via USB-C. I do expect those to be scalped. I do expect those to be bought out. I do expect people to be using these for emulation rather than the actual console. Temper your expectations correctly, in my opinion. But things like XD Gala Darkness, Mario Strikers, Fire Emblem, Sunshine OG, Wind Waker OG. Oh my God. I'm content. I'm happy. I think that there's a lot there. The showing 5 video feeds did show lag, and we did notice that throughout. Like I do worry about the latency. I don't know how much of that network, I don't know how much that's hardware, I don't know how much that's software, I don't know how much that gets resolved with updates, I don't know how much of that is irresolvable. Personally, for me, trying to play Pokemon VGC, and I might have to wait for Champions, trying to play competitive Pokemon, I get one game of VGC in via doubles, and then it kicks me off. I get the error code. I don't remember what the error code is specifically, but looking it up, it's like poor internet connection or poor connection. And trying to do streams of like Terra raids and stuff, the net code was just awful for certain games. So I'm hoping we see because I'm streaming on this right now. Like my net should be fine. I'm hoping we see an uptick in quality. I'm hoping we see a very good console, a very good platform. I'm hoping we see developers taking their time, making sure things are optimized correctly. And I'm hoping we see some pretty strong launches, because I feel like there could be a lot. There's going to be a lot riding on this. Micro SD Express format they're going is supposed to utilize the PCI and NVMe protocols to achieve significantly faster read and write speeds, giving speeds on par with SD for PC. Right. So it's your Space Marine 2 on PC is requiring SSD now. Effectively, but that's going to do it. This is 2 hours. I am actually going to end stream after I end this recording, because I unfortunately do have to make sure that I'm catering to the YouTube side of things as well, as people can't make it out to stream, and I totally understand that. I wasn't actually planning on streaming this. I do have to convert this. I will have more reactions out soon. If you are on the React channel and you watched all of this, you absolute legend. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you're excited for. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next one.